Good morning, all, and welcome to our today's webinar presentation. Thank you for your patience. I know the webinar was supposed to start at 10, and but we are a bit late. But thank you for your patience. So my name is Grace Chege, and I'll be taking you through our today's presentation. I'm from the tax department here at RWK Africa. And once again, thank you for joining us. So RWK Africa, for those who are new here, RWK Africa is an audit firm that deals with audits and tax and bookkeeping services. And apart from that, we are also as a firm, we are committed to ensuring that we update you on knowledge or everything about taxes. So for that reason, we normally have webinars, 3 webinars every month where we talk about taxes, the tax trends and the specific topics relating to tax, just to ensure that we help you stay compliant. So in our today's discussion, we are going to be talking about PAYE compliance. Under PAYE, we are going to be looking at the tax cycle. We're going to be answering the question of what PAYE is, who is eligible for PAYE registration, what are these taxable employment incomes, what are these non-cash benefits that are chargeable to tax, the allowable deduction. We are also going to be talking about PAYE audits. This is an area, tax audits is an area that is not very, most people are not very familiar with, but is very crucial. And also we are going to be looking at the finance bill, the proposed changes with regards to PAYE in the finance bill 2025. And briefly look at the changes. There are a bit of changes in the PAYE template. We'll be looking at that towards the tail end of this presentation. And also, I want to request you to stay tuned because we're going to be having a demo on my Accurate books. So upon completion, please do not leave. It's not going to take much of your time. So we're going to start by discussing what the tax cycle. And under this, the first stage of being compliant I'm being informed that I'm not audible enough. Let me make some few adjustments. So the first stage of being compliant under PAYE is to register this obligation. So if you're an employer and you have decided to seek help from other people to help you run your business in form of employees, you're supposed to register. You're supposed to register for this obligation known as pay as you earn. So this obligation is registered on iTax. You will log into iTax. You will inform the authorities that you are now an employer and you wish to register for this obligation. After that, you will be required to upload some documents, could be your payroll, and maybe a letter to show, a letter requesting for this obligation. After which this application will be approved, or it's either going to be approved rejected, or you're going to be requested to upload additional documents. And upon applying, it will be approved within the shortest time possible. The timeline given for approval for PAYE registration is 5 days. So upon registering or upon application on iTax, within 5 days, it will be approved. And then you will be required now to remit your taxes on that respective month. So after registering this obligation, you are required to file your returns every month. So you will file your return for that period, of course, including now the employees and their salaries and the deductions related to it. Upon applying, filing your taxes, you will be required to pay. So filing and paying, they're like they're like twin processes. They happen at the same time, but the process is different. So you're supposed to file and at the same time pay, at the same day, pay the taxes that fall due. Upon filing, now you will have to deal with matters arising. Matters arising are, it could be penalties for failure to pay, could be penalties for not filing on time. It could be issues of refunds, or it could be even pay audits. So upon registering, filing, and paying your taxes, the next stage is to deal with all matters arising that pertain to pay. So what is PAYE? So PAYE is a method of collecting tax from individuals, both residents and non-residents, in gainful employment. So if you are employed, your employer is mandated to deduct this tax and remit to KRA on your behalf. So the taxes that, the profits or these gains from employment are wages, casual wages, salaries, leave pay, sick pay, payment in lieu of leaves, fees, commission, bonuses, gratuity or subsistence, traveling or entertainment or any other allowances. Let me change my screen to presentation mode. Sorry for that. So gains or profits from employment include wages, casual wages, salaries, leave pay, sick pay, payment in lieu of leaves, fees, commission, bonuses, gratuity or subsistence, traveling or entertainment, and other allowances that are received in respect of employment or services rendered to your employer. So the Finance Act 2023 introduced two additional tax bands above the marginal tax rate of 30%. So the Finance Act introduced the tax rate of 32.5%, which is applicable to individuals earning a monthly salary that is between 500,000 and 800,000, and 35% on income or salary above 800,000. So the rates are charged on a graduated scale that is 10% to 35%, and it's applicable to employment income that is above 24,000 per month. We'll see why this is so shortly. So who should register for PAYE? We've said that any person who pays emoluments or rather salaries to employees is required to register for this obligation. Upon registering, you will deduct this tax from your employees and remit the same to KRA without fail. So you're supposed to file on or before the 9th of every month. So some of the taxable employment incomes include all cash payments, however described, and the value of non-cash benefits that exceeds 500,000 per month. So this came with the Amendment Act, the Amendment Act 2024 that was enacted in 27th of December last year. That is what brought these changes. Initially, the threshold was at 3,000 per month. Cash payments include wages, salary, the leave pays, fees, commission, bonuses, gratuity, allowances, directors' fees, overtime, pension, entertainment, and any other payments that have been received. Also, any excess mileage reimbursements to employees based on the rates that are higher than that provided for by the Automobile Association of Kenya rates will be taxable on the employee effective 1st July 2023. Again, this came with the Finance Act 2023. The other aspect is on club entrance and subscription fees. So if an employer pays for their employee club entrance and subscription fees, and the same amount is deducted as allowable expense on the side of the employer, it's going to be charged as a benefit on employee. So if an employer pays and claims that as an allowable expense, it will be charged as a benefit to you as the employee. This is charged on both residents and non-residents, and it's accounted for by the employers only. So non-cash benefits that are chargeable to tax include car benefits. We're going to look into it in a few. Also, in the event when an employer gives you a loan at an interest rate that is lower than the prevailing market rate, the difference is what is termed as fringe benefits, and that is charged on the employer. It is a benefit to the employee, but is charged on the employer. Also, household utilities, including telephone, electricity, water, security, domestic expenses, provided to by your employer that are in excess of the allowable limit of 5,000 in a month is chargeable to tax. What this means is, in the case where these benefits exceed 5,000, even by 50 shillings or even 500 shillings, the entire amount is grossed up and computed for tax purposes. Also, pension contribution paid by tax-exempt employers to unregistered scheme is chargeable to tax, and pension contribution paid by an employer to a registered or unregistered scheme that is in excess of the allowable amount of 30,000 Kenya shillings per month or 360 Kenya shillings per year is chargeable to tax. So on the car benefits, if an employer grants an employee with a car, a motor vehicle, for either personal use or official use, in the sense that you cannot differentiate personal use from official use, this benefit is chargeable to tax, and the rate of tax is the higher of the commissioner's prescribed value and 2% per month of the initial capital cost. Apologies for that. I'm experiencing a technical glitch. Let's continue. So car benefit is valued at the higher of commissioner's prescribed values and 2% of the initial capital cost per month. So where a vehicle is leased, the benefit value is the higher of the prescribed rates and the least higher costs. Also, restricted use may be allowed by the commissioner upon application. What this means is in the case where maybe you as an employer, you have provided, say, a work ticket where this employee is able to record the mileage that has been used on official duty and that has been used on personal duty. If you can be able to separate like that, then the benefit will be apportioned by the rates that will be provided for by the commissioner upon application. The other non-cash benefit is housing benefit. So in the scenario where an employer has provided an employee with a house, these are the rates that are used to determine the taxable benefit. In the case of owner-director of a company, the higher of 15% of the total income, the market rental value, or the rent paid by the employer is what is chargeable to tax. In the case of whole-time service director, a comparison is equally made between the employment income, market rental, 15% of the employment income, the market rental value, or the rent paid by the employer. So the highest of these three scenarios is what is charged to tax. And in the case of regular employees, the greater of 15% of the employment income and the actual rent that is paid at arm's length. Arm's length meaning the rent that is paid, the rent is equal to the prevailing market rates is what is chargeable to tax. Where the premises are owned by an employer, the rental market value is what is taken to determine what will be charged. So for agricultural employees, those employees who are working for these big agricultural farms, and you're required to reside in the farm, maybe there are no houses nearby, the amount that is chargeable to tax is 10% of the employment income. Note that where the premises are occupied for part of the year, the benefit is supposed to be apportioned accordingly. And in the case where there's rent that has been paid by the employee to the employer, this is deducted from the total housing benefit. We have a income that is not chargeable to pay, and this is meals that have been provided by an employer up to a maximum of 5,000 per month or 60,000 per month. So if this benefit or this income exceeds 5,000 per month, the amount that is chargeable to tax is only the amount that is above 5,000. So if the benefit exceeds to 5,500, the amount that is chargeable to tax is only 500 Kenya shillings. Note the difference between this kind of benefit and the non-cash benefit, where we said if the 5,000 limit is exceeded, the entire amount is charged to tax. But for meals, only the amount that exceeds 5,000 is the one that will be charged to tax. Night outs for of 2,000 Kenya shillings per day is also not chargeable to tax. Any amounts that are mere reimbursements of expenses, e.g. subsistence allowance for official duty, otherwise known as per diem, or mileage allowances are not considered as taxable pay. Medical covers paid for by employer are also not taxable. An amount not exceeding 60,000 Kenya shillings that is paid by an employer as gratuity or similar payments in respect of employment or services that have been rendered for each period or each year of service and is paid to a registered retirement pension scheme, then is not chargeable to tax. So any amount that is below 60,000 Kenya shillings in relation to gratuity is not chargeable to tax. The other bit is persons living with disability. So the government is aware of the challenges that that the people with disabilities face, and for that reason, they have been granted an exemption that applies to the first 150,000 Kenya shillings per month, or the first 1.8 million per annum. So note that as an employer, you're not supposed to grant this exemption until your employee provides you with an exemption certificate. So they are required to apply for the exemption certificate. Then upon vetting and approval, they will be given this certificate, for which now you can be able to exempt them. Failure to provide these exemptions will lead to refunds or accruals to the respective employees for the same period. So ensure that if you have people with disabilities, ensure you factor in this exemption correctly when computing pay as you earn. The other bit we are going to discuss is on allowable deductions. So the first allowable deduction is on mortgage interest. So if you've decided to take a loan and purchase a property or a house, or even renovate, the interest rate that you pay on that loan is an allowable deduction of up to a maximum of 300,000 Kenya shillings per annum. In the case of pension contribution, so if you have contributed to a registered pension scheme or a registered pension firm, this contribution is an allowable deduction up to a maximum of 30,000 Kenya shillings per month and 360,000 Kenya shillings per annum. Other allowable deductions are the affordable housing levy, which is charged at 1.5% of your gross salary. Also, contribution to a post-retirement medical fund, subject to a limit of 15,000 per month, and contributions made to the social health insurance fund, which is charged as 2.75% of your gross salary. So this is what is termed as allowable deduction. An allowable deduction is meant to reduce your gross your gross income that will be charged to tax. So the other bit is on tax reliefs. I'm sure most of you are beneficiaries of this. Tax relief is meant to lighten the burden of a taxpayer and is currently charged at, and it goes for 2,400 shillings per month and to 28,800 shillings in a year. So when an employer deducts pay, they are mandated to also account for this relief on a monthly basis. A relief will reduce the tax payable at the end of that period. So when the resident individual is not granted a personal relief by an employer during the year, he or she will be entitled for a refund at the end of the same year. So when you realize that your employer has not been granting you this relief, you may apply for a refund for the same. These are the pay tax bands. So on the first 24,000 Kenya shillings, the tax rate is 10%. So 24,000 by 10%. That reliefs are on the first 24,000. And I think that explains why this is the lowest limit when it comes to pay. On the next 8,333, the tax rate is 25%. On the next 467,667, the tax is charged at 30%. And on the income between 500,000 and 800,000, the tax is charged at 32.5%, and any other income that is above 800,000 is charged at 35%. So when we were starting our discussion today, I mentioned about the tax cycle where you're supposed to register for this obligation as an employer, file, and then pay, then later deal with matters arising such as penalties and interests. So if you have registered for this obligation and you fail to remit or you fail to pay to file on time, the penalty on this is the higher of 25% of the taxes due, or 10,000 Kenyan shillings. For late payment, you get a penalty of 5% of the tax due and interest at 1% per month, or part of a month on the unpaid tax until the tax is paid in full. So ensure that if you have this obligation, you file and remit your taxes on time, just to avoid penalties and interests. The other bit that I'd like to discuss is on lump sum payments. So for anyone who has ever been employed who has been employed, you all know that employment is not permanent and anything can happen anytime. Your contract can be terminated, you can be dismissed. So lump sum payment is a one-time large payment upon either retirement or contract termination. It includes gratuity, bonuses, severance pay, leave pay, notice pay, and compensation. So if an employer terminates your contracts and they compensate you for the same, they are supposed to deduct pay on that lump sum amount before releasing it to you, or before releasing it to you. Yeah. So it is taxed in the year it was earned, even if it was paid later. Tax computation on this is you add the lump sum amount to the total income in the year it was earned. Then you calculate using the prevailing individual tax rates, after which you're going to deduct the relief and remit the pay on behalf of that particular employee. So I'm going to quickly take you through how to pay on iTax. I will not be doing the practical bit of it, but I'll take you through quickly through the procedure or the process of filing on iTax. The first thing you're supposed to do is you log into iTax. You will, of course, enter your KRA PIN, after which you're going to click on, you're going to navigate to your returns and click on File Return. Select the relevant obligation. In this case, we are filing income tax pay. After that, you will download the recommended Excel template and fill appropriately. After which you are going to go to the last sheet, which is sheet N of tax due, and click Validate. Upon validating, a zip file upon validating, a zip file folder will be generated and it will be saved in your documents folder. So you'll go back to your iTax, go back to returns, file returns, and then you'll upload file returns pay, and then you'll upload the zipped file, agree on the terms and conditions. You'll check on that box, and then after which you are going to submit. Upon submitting, you will generate a PRN just to show that you have completed the filing process successfully. So upon filing, remember we said filing and paying are twin processes. So upon filing, you will go to you're going to generate a payment receipt note. So let me take you through that process. So you'll go back to iTax, you'll go and select the payment registration, you'll select the tax head, which is income tax, the subhead as income tax pay. The payment type will be self-assessment, then you're going to select the period. Upon selecting the period, it's going to display the taxes, the tax liability for that period. Then you will click on Add. Then after that, you're going to select on the mode of payment, either other payment mode or RTGS. After that, you're going to click on the Submit button. Then the system will generate a payment slip, which you will download. Therein is the bank statement, the bank account and the pay bill from where you can pay your taxes from. So that is briefly the procedure of filing and paying and generating a payment slip on iTax. The other bit that I wish to briefly mention is on tax audits and specifically pay audits. So a tax audit is the thorough examination of your returns, you as the taxpayer by the KRA, just to ascertain as to whether you have been compliant. It can be in all the obligations that have been registered under your PIN, or it can be on a specific obligation. In this case, it can be on pay only. So what are these actions that can trigger KRA to audit you on pay? The first trigger is when there are variances in your annual account salary figures and the pay returns. So when a comparison is done between what you have claimed as your salaries and wages in your income tax returns at the end of the year vis-a-vis the pay that you have been paying as an employer, and they find out that the salaries and wages figure is higher or the vice versa, then this is going to trigger KRA to audit you. And it could be that maybe you have hired casual laborers in the course of the year that were not accounted for in your pay. So you see, this is a valid reason, but you need to be able to prove that. You need to be able to prove and account for the difference to the last shilling. And proving this, in the case of casual workers, how you prove this is if you are able to provide the schedule showing a list of the casual laborers and their personal information, the rates that were used to determine their salaries, and even their signatures. They need to have signed. They need to have signed in that schedule for it to be acceptable by the KRA. So ensure in the case where you have such employees, you maintain these records. Also, if you have filed for your pay, but you have not remitted the same, this is a trigger to KRA. Failure to remit pay payments on time. So you file, yes, on time, but when it comes to payment, you delay on the same. So if you do this enough times, KRA is going to come after you. Also, the nil filers, you applied for this obligation, but it's been a whole year of you filing nil. So KRA is going to question you on that. When there's significant fluctuations in pay on a monthly basis, KRA is also going to query that. It's a red flag. When there's higher director standards of living compared to the declared salaries, this is also a red flag to KRA. And also the higher salaries to senior employees compared to company directors. We all know that a director is the most, senior most person in the company. So in the case where you find that a manager is earning more than the director in the payroll, then this is questionable, and KRA is likely to come after you for this. So these are the key and important documents that you need to maintain, you as an employer. Number one, you need to have your monthly payroll summaries. Maintain a summary of how you've been paying your employees and the deductions. Also, employee contracts and appointment letters. This is very important in case KRA queries your salary, the salary paid to your employees. Shift NSSF and pension contribution schedules and receipts that you have been paying the same. Schedules of all our allowances and benefits in kind. So if you've been giving your employees benefits, you need to have a record of this and a schedule for all the allowances to your employees. So how do you prevent how do you ensure that you do not attract KRA, or your business does not attract KRA with regards to pay? The first, you're supposed to ensure that you timely file and pay your taxes. Ensure that all your employees are accounted for in your pay returns. Ensure that your pay computations are accurate. Always stay updated on the changes on pay template. Ensure you use the correct pay template and pay computations just to avoid such errors. Avoid filing nil returns with an active payroll. So if you have a pay obligation and maybe your business closed down or for whatever reason you do not have employees, you can deregister for the same. You can apply for deregistration instead of having to file nil returns over and over. This is just to prevent KRA from questioning that. Lastly but not least, engage a tax professional, just as RWK Africa. A tax professional will guide you on matters tax. They're going to help you. They're going to help you maintain your records properly. They're going to advise you, and even in the case where KRA has issued a notice, an audit notice, they're going to guide you appropriately. So ensure that you seek guidance from a professional and do not wait until when KRA is at your door. That's when you look for a professional. Now is the time. Go and create a relationship with a professional, and they'll help you prevent some of these triggers. The other bit is I'm going to briefly mention is the proposed changes on pay in the Finance Bill 2025. So the first change that has been proposed is KRA has realized that most employers neglect most employers do not account for reliefs when computing pay for their employees. So the Finance Bill 2025 seeks to make this mandatory such that all employers will be required to account for pay reliefs during payroll processing, just to prevent the refunds that come with this. The other is per diem exemption has been raised. Is proposed to be raised from 2,000 Kenya shillings to 10,000 Kenya shillings. The other bit is all pension and gratuity payments from public schemes will be tax exempt regardless of the retiree's age. So these are some of the proposed changes that are in the Finance Bill 2025. So before we conclude, I'd like to take you through some changes that have been effected on the pay template. So KRA is seeking to really simplify this entire process of filing pay. And for that reason, they have made new significant changes in the template that you use to file pay. Allow me drop this presentation and share with you a template. So we'll be doing a comparison of the previous template and the new simplified template. I hope this is visible on your end. So this is how the previous pay template looked like. So you realize it has more than 15 sheets. I think it goes up to, should be 17. Goes up to 17 sheets. So the new simplified template has only 5 sheets. So most of these sheets have been combined, and others have been done away with. We are going to look at those sheets that have been collapsed and those that have been removed. So in the basic information, you're going to fill your identification number. You'll input the return. You'll select whether it's an original or an amended return. Remember, you're only allowed to amend your return once, and it's upon application. So if you amend your returns downwards, if you amend your returns upward, it's approved automatically. But if you amend your returns downwards, it's going to go through an approval process. You may be required to upload additional documents to support this. So here you will select the type of return that you're filing. You will input the tax period and the return period. The next sheet is of employees' details. So we have PIN of employee, the name, the resident status, the type of employee, basic salary, housing allowance, transport. All these are the cash, the cash benefits. All the way to the self-assessed tax. So what KRA has done, the columns on cash benefits, the columns of cash benefits have been collapsed into one. So you'll not need to break it down, to break your cash benefits to basic, housing allowance, transport leave, overtime allowance, director's fees, lump sum pay, other allowances. They have realized that this bit is no longer necessary, because regardless of the title of that cash benefits, it's going to be taxed. So all this has been combined into one column that will be total cash pay. We're going to look at that. The other sheet of people with disabilities. So this sheet is no longer there in the simplified pay returns template. This bit has been incorporated in the employees' details, in the employees' details into sheet B. Computation of car benefit is equally not there. So what you're going to do, these computations will be done offline. You're going to compute this in your Excel and then transfer that information to sheet B. So computation of car benefit and people with disability have been merged to employees' details. The sheet on computation of insurance relief has been done away with, because this relief is no longer applicable. The other bit is on lump sum payment. So the arrears, that is arrears, gratuity, and lump sum payments have been merged into one sheet. So in the simplified pay returns, you realize that there's only one sheet for lump sum payments, and on that, you can be able to file your arrears or your gratuities. So we'll look into that. The sheet on fringe benefit remains the same. This has been maintained. The sheet on pay credits, this one has been removed. So this computation has been automated such that if you have any credits, it's going to be offset automatically. So this sheet no longer exists in the simplified template. The affordable housing levy sheet also has been merged with the sheet B of employees details. So we've said employees details, we've included people with disability, the car benefit and affordable housing. And then now the sheet N of tax due remains as it is. So those are some of the changes that have been made on PAYE. Now let us look at the new simplified PAYE templates. Sorry. So this is how the new PAYE template looks like. From the initial 17 sheets to only 5 sheets. So we have basic information, employees details and tax due. So this is the sheet that is commonly applicable to most employers. The sheet B. So here you'll put your identification number, type of return, the entity type, the period, and then you'll be prompted to select whether you have a lump sum, gratuity, arrears, or fringe benefits. So if in the case where you have these incomes, when you click on yes, it's going to open up 2 additional sheets of the lump sum payments and the fringe benefits. So if you do not use these sheets, there's no need of opening them up. You can just maintain the sheet on employees' business details and the tax due. So the bit of employees' details, PIN of employee, name of employee, the resident status, type of employee, those details have been maintained. And then now you see the bit of persons with disability has been included. We no longer have the columns with the breakdown of the cash pay. We only have the total cash pay as one column, and then the value of car benefit. So upon computing the car benefits offline, you're going to input that figure here. The part of non-cash benefits remains as it is. Housing levy is here. So you'll be computing housing levy in your Excel and putting that figure here. On the lump sum, I want to show you how gratuity and arrears has been incorporated. So when you come to the type of payment, you can select, now it gives you the option of selecting whether you're filing for lump sum, gratuity or arrears. So if you select on, you realize that these columns that had been grayed out or that had been protected, now you can be able now to file the relevant fields. The grayed out areas relate to these other payments. So when you come and click on gratuity, the columns that relate to lump sum payments are grayed out. Now you can be able to fill a gratuity. In case of arrears, you also click on that. And the only bit that is left out is that which relates to arrears. Now you can be able to file. Fringe benefits, it remains the same. There are no changes on this. And then now the tax due. So this is how the simplified pay Excel template looks like. So this template is not available on iTax yet. You can download it from the KRA's website and use it to file your returns. So it's still in the rollout phase. So you can file with it and give your reviews. But they say as from next month, it's going to be mandatory to file using this simplified return template. So ensure if you're an employee or an accountant, you interact with this template so that you can be able to understand the changes that have been made. So that when it comes to filing, you don't experience any challenges. So that's it for the changes on the pay template. Which brings me to an end of my discussion today. But before, and for those who have questions, I forgot to mention this earlier, please direct them on the chat box. We're going to try and answer as many questions as we can. So before we conclude, I'd like to bring to your attention some of the programs that we have lined up for you as RWK Africa. And the first bit is on an upcoming taxation masterclass. So if you're a business owner or an accountant, or you're just a person who is interested in knowing all matters tax, then this masterclass is for you. We'll be discussing what I've discussed today on PAYE is just more of an introduction. It's just a tip of it's like a tip of the iceberg. In the taxation masterclass, you're going to go into details on pay, filing the pay returns. You're going to be shown the practical steps of filing pay. There's more details that have been left out in my today's presentation that will be discussed in this masterclass. So let me go through the manual. Just a minute, I take you through the manual of this taxation masterclass. Give me a minute. I want to read for you the topics or the modules that will be discussed or will be taught in this masterclass. So we have 5 modules on this masterclass. And the first module, we are going to be discussing the details on pay, NITA, housing levy. We are also going to be looking at the rental income, the IRITs. You know, there is a rental income filing platform that has been introduced by KRA. We're going to be discussing that into details. Also, the installment taxes, We're going to do practical exercises of calculating pay, filing the same, determining the NSSF, the SHIP contribution, turnover taxes for small businesses. We are also going to look at VAT in totality. We'll look at introduction to VAT, the VAT registration process and the registration requirements. We're going to mention the special table on VAT. We are going to talk of VAT on imported services, VAT on digital market supply. We are going to talk about withholdings in relation to VAT. We're going to look at how to file your VAT, the practical bit of how to file your VAT. We're also going to look at VAT refunds. That is module 2. And remember, in this masterclass, we are going to have a very interactive session where you can bring your questions on the challenges that you have been facing with regards to VAT, PAYE, income tax, and we can assist you on the same. Under income tax, we are going to be looking at the different categories of income tax, the thresholds and deductions. We're going to look at capital gains tax, the rates and applicability. We're also going to look at advance tax, standard levy, the excise duty, an introduction to iTax. Will guide you on how to navigate your iTax platform. We're also going to be talking about tax audits, the tax dispute and resolution mechanism, how to handle audits and best practices during tax audits. We're going to look at how you can file your case at the judiciary. And do not say that because maybe I'm a small business owner, KRA is not going to audit me, or KRA is not going to audit you because you're a small business. No one is immune to audit, whether you are a small business, whether you incorporated your company last week, whether you incorporated your company last year, you can be audited. So this bit is very, very important. We're also going to be looking at the refund application process, the tax saving strategies, tax planning. We're going to look at excise duty. Oh, I think I mentioned that. We're also going to look at customs and emerging issues when it comes to taxation. And the last bit will be on internal control, where we'll be discussing how to assess internal controls, risk assessment procedures, fraud risk assessments, all that will be discussed. So do not miss out on this opportunity to learn. We welcome your input on your expectation on this masterclass. What are some additional topics that we can discuss in this masterclass? The masterclass starts on 14th of July to 25th. It's a 2 weeks program that is going to be virtual. Again, very convenient for people who are employed or those who have their engagements during the day, because it's going to run from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Only 2 hours of your time for 2 weeks. And it's we have an ongoing offer just for today. The rates are 25,000 Kenya shillings per person. But for today, we have decided to give a discount of 22,000 Kenya shillings. For the first 15 people who are going to sign up today, you get an offer of 22,000 Kenya shillings from the initial cost of 25,000 Kenya shillings. For a corporate package, you're going to get a discount of 2,000 Kenya shillings. So you'll be paying 20,000 Kenya shillings from the initial 22,000 Kenya shillings. So I believe my co-host has already shared a link where you can sign up for this masterclass. So please proceed and sign up, and it's going to be very beneficial to you. And also share this information widely. If you know of anyone who can benefit from this, ensure you share this with them. If you are a director or a business owner and you think or you feel your accountant is going to benefit from this, pay for them and let them come and learn. The other thing, or the other program is CEO's breakfast meeting. So we invite CEOs who are in the manufacturing sector to come and learn on taxes or generally compliance with regards to taxes and the unique challenges that this sector faces. So on this CEO's breakfast meeting, you will have a chance to interact with professionals with regards to tax. All your questions on taxes, audit, bookkeeping will be handled. You will also interact with fellow CEOs who have been in the field for long, and you can be able to exchange knowledge. So this is happening on 21st of August 2025. It will be on a Thursday at as from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. at Swiss Lenana Mount Hotel, which is in Hurlingham off Valley Road. And tickets are very affordable, only 3,000 Kenya shillings. So book your slot now. This is a limited offer. We have reserved a place, and we have a limited slots. So ensure you book early. And if you know of any CEO who is in the manufacturing industry, share this information with them. They can even call us to inquire more about the events of that day. Our number is provided there, so you can call for more inquiry on the same. The other bit is our Skill Up mentorship program. So other than AWK Africa offering tax, audits, and bookkeeping services, we also run a CSR program that we call a Skill Up mentorship program, where we look for trainers or resource trainers who come and train the community on how to make different products and how to start your business so that you can earn income from it. Some of the products that we teach is how to make, say, animal feeds, baking. You can. We also teach how to make soap, shoe polish, such kind of things. And for this particular training, we'll be teaching on how to make body lotion, shampoo, and hair food. And there are no charges. This is free of charge. So if you know of anyone, we invite you all. And if you know of anyone else who can benefit from this, ensure that you invite them. It's going to be taking place on 21st of June, this coming weekend. In fact, it's tomorrow. Going to be happening tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 1 a.m. at Thika Road Technical College, which is opposite PCA Church Ndarugu along Thika Road. So for directions, call us, then we can be able to direct you on the same. So that marks the end of my presentation today. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for being part of today's presentation. And I hope to see you all in the upcoming masterclass. Thank you and have a good day. Please do not leave. We have my accurate books demo. John, I don't know if you're ready.
I'm ready. Good morning, everyone. I see you've had a quite an insightful discussion. I've also seen that there has been questions, maybe seeking clarification and all that. Yes, maybe before I jump into the presentation, do you want to? All right. So that will be handled in a couple of minutes later. So I'm requesting 5 of your minutes to talk about My Accurate Books, which is an accounting software developed by RWK Africa. I know in the past we've been going through the system itself, but today I want to give another twist. So I have prepared a 5 slides presentation that seeks to point out what you expect when you sign up for My Accurate Books. My name is John Gashoka. So I want to share my screen that you can see. So if you can see this screen, kindly send me a thumbs up. If you can see My Accurate Books screen, kindly send me a thumbs up so that I'm sure that everyone can see what I'm sharing. Right, I see, Kevin, you can see it. My assumption is that everyone else can see this presentation. So I know some of you may have heard about My Accurate Books. Some of you could be interacting with the system as it is. And some of you, it might be the first time that you're hearing about this wonderful application that is a game changer when it comes to simplifying your financial management as a business owner, as a handler or an accountant of a business, as a bookkeeper. Basically, someone who interacts with a business on a daily basis. And you might be asking, why do you need this system? And I have four issues to talk about. Because in fact, before I even say anything, if you are able to, can you type some of the challenges that you experience insofar as financial management is concerned? If you're able to, share some of the challenges that your business or whatever you do and requires financial management, any challenge that you've experienced and you would want to get a solution once and for all, so that you now focus on making more profits and minimizing, basically expanding on your profit margin insofar as your business is concerned. As you do that, for many businesses, one of the challenge that because this came about, I had Grace talked about Skill Up program, which is one of our CSR programs that we run on a monthly basis. And for people with businesses, We do have another one that we call BIP. That is for business incubation program, so that we empower business owners to manage their businesses even better. So this system came about because when we were conducting, or as how we've been conducting this program, part of the discussion has been about financial management. And we realized that there is a very huge gap with the entrepreneurs when it comes to putting their finances into perspective or in order. And this limits them, or this uh, keeps them from getting opportunities, whether it's funding, whether it's loan from financial institution, or even grants. So we asked ourselves, what can we do to even go further and support them even better? And we realized that in as much as it was inspired by beneficiaries of our budding entrepreneurs under Skill Up program, we realized that these are challenges that many businesses encounter. And we asked ourselves, what can we do? Among others, one of the problems we realized is that for many businesses, when it comes to record keeping, this is a very huge problem, and there is need to have a solution to this. In fact, reports indicate that around 3 in 10 businesses fail because of poor financial management, where you cannot tell the direction that your business is taking, and you end up closing shop because after some time you realize that it is eating up even what should not be invested in the business. The other aspect is limited access to accounting services. We appreciate that most financial services could be somehow relatively expensive. And for SMEs and other businesses, it might be hard to get these services. And we appreciate that through My Accurate books, this problem will be solved. The other challenge is when it comes to tax compliance. From the discussion that you've just had, if there is anyone who don't joke, even in the adverts, you can tell that they don't joke, is KRA. So matters of tax are very important for any businesses. The other aspect is lack of affordable and easy tools. How My Accurate Books has been made is that it is extremely simplified so that for any business person, whether you have an accounting background or you don't, as long as you have basic computer understanding, you can manage and you can operate this system. So you might be asking yourselves, why My Accurate Books? My Accurate Books is a very simple accounting software for SMEs, and we are the ones who developed it. The good thing is that you can be in a position to get information about your business remotely, whether you are the shop or you have another staff, and you want to see how your business is performing away from the shop. You can see that from your phone because you do have an application, and you can also access it from the web. And as I have mentioned earlier, with My Accurate Books, you do not need to have any financial or any accounting background. Basic computer knowledge. In fact, as far as you can operate, as far as you can operate your phone, Android phone, you can be in a position to manage your business through My Accurate Books. Some of the features that we have invested on or we put in place is a point of sale. There is you're in a position to manage information regarding your customers. You can give roles to your staff. If you're the business owner and you have more than one staff, let's say you have a salesperson, or maybe you have an accounts clerk, or you have a bookkeeper, you can assign them role in the system. The other big and important aspect of it is that there is inventory management. So you're able to manage your stock levels for businesses with stocks. and you're able to tell even things that are owned by the business. When it comes to payment tracking, the system allows that you can update a payment that has been made through cash or by bank transfer or a check or even M-Pesa. That is enabled in the system. When it comes to payment integration, this is something we are rolling out by the end of this month. We are already finalizing on a wallet that will help you get real-time transactions. So when a client makes payment, you can get an alert. And this is a feature that we believe will be a game changer, especially for those of you who want to get information on real-time transactions. When it comes to tax compliance tools, we are finalizing on e-Teams. Our end, we've closed on it. It is only awaiting approval from KRA. We've had a couple of discussions, and we are now finalizing on that so that it will be up and running. When it comes to mobile accessibility, as I've said, this system is we have an application. You wouldn't need someone to install it on your computer. From your web, you can access it. The other very important aspect, especially for businesses with branches, is that there is branch management. You can assign branches in the system, and you can even track expenses. And finally, about the wallet. This will solve your problem where you need information on real-time transaction. And the good thing is that with the wallet, it is enabled that you can do transaction either with Kenya shillings or the dollar or euro or the Chinese currency. So you can use multi-currency under my accurate books. Now, with this system, the system envisions or ensures that, one, you save your time when it comes to automation of your business, because instead of doing the paperwork, you can simply do it in the system. When it comes to tax, you will always be tax compliant. And when it comes to financials, you are able to get financial reports on real time, in that you can filter reports for a day, for a month, for a week, or annual. And the other important bit is that you can backdate your information in the system. So if you need to update information for like 3 years, from 3 years, you're able to do that within my accurate books. And as I mentioned, the fact that it is simplified and you can access it from your phone, I believe this changes everything, because you're able to manage your business right from your hand. And I believe this is a solution that any business owner would be running for. And you might be asking yourself, the market is saturated with a lot of accounting softwares. Why my accurate books? The development of this software, now that it's been developed locally, we have invested so much. Being an audit firm, we have worked with accountants to put up information that will be relevant for businesses. This is a system that has been tailored to solve businesses' needs within East Africa. So whether you're in Kenya, Tanzania, or Uganda, you can be in a position to use this system and transact seamlessly. And when it comes to payment, if you're going for, we have 3 tiers. We have the free tier, which has limited access. We have the standard tier, which for most SMEs fit and has a lot of features that would be of great help to you, because you're able to get over 5 reports under the standard level, or under the standard tier. And we also have the gold tier that is for big commercials, or for organizations that manages petty cash, they manage payroll, there is payment integration and all that. So under the standard package, monthly contribution is just 500 bob. For the gold package is just 750 shillings. When we do quarterly under the standard package, which has many features that would be applicable to your business, you pay 1,400 for 3 months, so it is discounted. And annual, if you pay for an annual package, you will have 1 month free. As it is, you're able to access the system, the standard package, for 14 days without a charge. And I would invite you to go check it out on Play Store. That is My Accurate Books. This is what you're going to see when you check My Accurate Books on Play Store. If you're using iOS, you can type My Accurate. You may not be in a position to download the application, but you can type myaccuratebook.com and it will direct you to our website. So we have local support team, so you can be sure that when you're stuck as a user, you will have someone to take care of the need real time. Or turnaround time is around 12 hours. When it comes to M-Pesa and back integration, as soon as the wallet is up and running, under the standard package and the gold package, you will be in a position to do M-Pesa and bank integration. Basically, you'll be able to make transactions within the system. And who are we targeting? You're one of the people that we target, whether you're an SME, a startup, or a trader, service provider. I know some of you might be independent audit consultants. We currently have audit consultants who are using this system to support their clients. I think in my database, I have over 30 consultants who are using My Accurate Books and are always in consultation with us. We have bookkeepers. In fact, we have, I think, of around 80 bookkeepers who are already using this system within Kenya. And when it comes to wholesalers and retailers, in fact, these are the most users that we have. At the moment, the system has around 300 users within Kenya. And we are projecting that by the end of this year, we will be working with over 1,000 users. The objective is that with the 1,000 users, based on the success stories that we are building on with the current users, we will be in a position now to even go further and make more improvements in the system. And finally, for you to get to us or to sign up to My Accurate Books, you can type www.myaccuratebook.com, and you can also go to the Play Store, My Accurate Books, or contact us for demo. So we have a team that is ready to conduct demos. So kindly take those contacts. We do individual demos within the week. We are happy to do that to you. So my co-host is able to share a form. You can share your information, and we are happy to support you. If you have any question, this is the time. I thank you very much for sparing your time to hear about this wonderful innovation that is a game changer when it comes to your business. If there is any question, I'm happy to respond. Tom Chichini. So Tom, as I have mentioned, we are finalizing on with the wallet. We will be able to make the feature, that is the gold package, running matters of payroll. So when it comes to attendance, at the moment the system does not have that feature. But when it comes to payroll and petty cash management, it is there. We want to roll it out with the wallet. So that is in the pipeline. However, at the standard package, when it comes to payroll, You can update information of your employees. In fact, you can make payment because that falls under expenses of your business, and you can detail on who you paid what, and you can get a report in that regard. So if thank you very much, Joachim. We are happy to hear that it is working on your end, and we believe it can help many more. I see, Alex, you have a question. Do you mind typing it? Alex, if you're able to, do you mind typing the question? Alex, have you been able to type your question? And anyone else that is in here, feel free. Alternatively, you can write to us through the form that the link that has been shared, and we will be happy to attend to you. So, Philip, you're asking, the accurate books payment only pays to M-Pesa or different banks account. This is for payrolls. So you will be in a position to pay to even do bank transfers. Under the wallet, you'll be in a position to not just M-Pesa, but to all banks, basically all banks in Kenya. You will be in a position to do a payment insofar as payroll is concerned. I hope that answers your question. All right, up to this point, I wish to express our heartfelt gratitude that you made time to follow on tax or on PAYE compliance simplified, and you also got to hear what we've lined up for you. If you're able to make it tomorrow, the My Accurate books will be at the Skill Up event, and we are happy to do a one-on-one with you. So make time, if you're able to, come to Thika Road Girls, and as you learn about making hair food for the ladies, I think it's hair food and some other, I don't know whether it's lotion or what. We will also be there to help where we can. Thank you very much. Have a good day ahead and a great weekend as well.